Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Unrestricted Sports. Today I am Brendan, and I'm joined by co-host Nolan. Today we are talking about Dalvin Cook and his desire for a contract, a new contract with the Vikings. So, Nolan, I'll let you get in on your thoughts on this.
Okay, yeah, so starting off right away, he deserves nowhere near what Christian McCaffrey's getting paid. I don't think anybody expects that, but just to clear it up, Christian McCaffrey is, I think, the highest a running back should be paid. Dalvin Cook is not even close to that. Comparing him to other running backs in his draft class, and Fournette and Joe Mixon, just to name a few, because that draft class was absolutely stacked with running backs. I think he deserves to make more than Joe Mixon, just because of how important Dalvin Cook is in the Vikings offense to help that team do well. But I think the biggest concern for Vikings fans and the Vikings front office is Dalvin Cook's ability to stay healthy. He hasn't played a full season in the NFL yet. He's getting better at staying healthy, but that doesn't mean much because when they need him, he seems to not be there. And I think him holding out is probably the dumbest thing he could do. I don't think there's ever been a situation in recent memory where somebody has held out and it has turned into something good. Le'Veon Bell, I mean, I'd rather be a Steeler with less money than a Jet with good money any day of the week. Melvin Gordon comes to mind. Look at him now. He's in a running back committee. Might lose to Phillip Lindsay. I mean, Dalvin Cook holding out is just, I don't think it's a smart move.
I agree on the holding out part. Holding out does not work for running backs. It just doesn't.
There's always a replacement.
There's always a replacement running back who can come in, and if you have a good enough offensive line where that guy was able to succeed anyway, I mean, you're done for. There's only a few generational talents, Barry Sanders, for example, who were able to have
you forgot Walter Payton.
Well, Walter Payton had a good offensive line, but if you look at players like Barry Sanders who had no offensive line, and they're able to do it, all right, that's a different scenario. He could probably hold out and be successful. He never did hold out, to my knowledge. I don't think he ever did. I don't think we mistreated him until he retired. But most times, unless you're an absolute generational talent, which Dalvin Cook, don't get me wrong, a really good top tier, top 5 running back in the league, he would still not be classified as that because it's so rare to have a running back who is that good. Holding out does not work for running backs because they're basically risking losing a whole year of playing time, a whole year of pay to get more money, which in theory would work if this was a career they were going to have for the rest of their lives. But it's not. Running backs have a very limited time frame in the NFL.
And the Vikings,
they don't last very long. And so look at their, you lose a year of playing. Sure, you might get a bigger or a marginally bigger contract, but when you look at Le'Veon Bell's contract, he got less than what he was asking for.
So did Melvin Gordon.
Yeah. You hold out as a running back, you're going to get less than you asked for because losing a year of playing time not only takes one more year off your career, it also causes some rust to build up. You aren't getting those reps, and that's important for a running back. The same reps that break them down is the same thing that they need to stay fresh, if that makes sense. So, I don't know. Holding out does not work for running backs very well. It's not like wide receivers or all these other positions where they can really practice on their own. Antonio Brown, he's still practicing and he looks like he could play in the NFL right now. There's a difference, though, with running backs because they aren't getting those hits in. There's no way for an NFL running back to simulate practice without a team. It just doesn't happen. And so when they hold out, they're losing money for a year. They're usually not going to get a better contract. And even if they do get a marginally better contract, it won't make up for the amount of money that they lost by sitting out a whole year. So it just won't work. Yeah. That being said, I do think Dalvin Cook has earned a new contract. Well, I agree that it shouldn't be as much as Christian McCaffrey, but I do think it should be kind of close within reason of their salary. I'm not familiar with the Vikings salary cap situation, but if they want to win now, one of the best things for them would be to get him on a pretty good sized deal while leaving them some flexibility, because they drafted, who did they draft with their wide receiver pick that they got from the first round from trading with the Bills?
The Vikings?
Yeah, who was the kid that they got?
I think Justin Jefferson.
Yeah. Well, either way, the wide receiver they drafted was incredible. I think he's going to be really good. I can't remember his name right now. That's my fault. They have Adam Thielen. They have Dalvin Cook. And Kirk Cousins, for as much hate as he gets, is not as bad as people say. He just, has had bad things happen in games that were beyond his control, I think, to an extent. So I think that they're in a position where they can easily win their division. Because the Packers are in disarray. The Lions, were the Lions. And the Bears think that they've found their savior with Nick Foles. So, the divisions, that should tell you that the division's pretty much up for grabs, and they have the best team to do it. And on top of that, they were able to beat the Saints last year. They were the biggest upset team in the league. And this brings up what I want to say. I think, thinking back, the Saints cheated against the Vikings when they won their Super Bowl or when they cheated against the Vikings on their way to the Super Bowl. The only Super Bowl that they've won in the last decade, or 2 decades now. And I think that that's a curse, because who do they always lose to in the playoffs now? The Vikings. So that's just my little theory, but that's getting off track. The Vikings could easily become a NFC playoff contender this year, and add that a top tier one.
No.
With Dalvin Cook, listen, I don't think they should pay him more than Christian McCaffrey. I don't think they should get super close either, but they should make him. They should make him maybe 2 or 3 highest paid running back right now. I think he should make. He should probably make more than Elliott. I think that would be a respectful move. Less than McCaffrey, but more than Elliott. I think that's fair.
I think Dalvin Cook, 2 things. Contract-wise, I don't think Dalvin Cook should make any more than Leonard Fournette. Leonard Fournette is in a very bad system, and he's still doing fantastic. He had a down 2018 year, but he didn't play. He played half the season, and he's on a 4-year, $27 million contract.
Dalvin Cook is way better than Leonard Fournette. Come on.
No, dude.
Yes, he is.
We're not going to go into this right now. We're not going to go into this right now.
Yes, he is. Don't even. No, this is what this is about. We're not. You're not going to get away with that. You're not going to go away with that insult on the guy who carried my fantasy football team.
Okay.
All right?
Okay. Here, we'll look at it this way. We'll look at it this way.
Worth the money.
Okay. We'll compare 2019 seasons. Okay, because that's the most games that Dalvin Cook played in a season. Leonard Fournette in that same season played 1 more game than Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook had 1,135 yards. Leonard Fournette had 1,152. Obviously,
100 extra yards.
Dalvin Cook had more touchdowns than Leonard Fournette.
That's all that matters. Touchdowns, baby.
No, it doesn't. That's because this.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
No, it's not. You look at offenses.
A running back who gets you touchdowns is the biggest deal.
Dude.
Getting points on the board is all that matters.
Nah.
Not yards, not personal stats. That's how I've always operated.
Nope.
Numbers
Leonard Fournette
on the board.
The Jacksonville Jaguars offense was not a run-first option in the red zone.
Yeah, once they
got in the red zone, they went to the pass. Leonard Fournette,
they aren't a good passing team either. What's your point?
I'm not arguing that the Jaguars are good at anything. I'm telling you that the difference between the Jaguars and the Vikings systems is that they utilize their running backs differently. Leonard Fournette is in a red zone running back for the Jaguars. Dalvin Cook is a red zone running back for the Vikings.
Dalvin Cook runs everywhere.
Breaks away for big yards.
They literally use Dalvin Cook everywhere. He was everywhere. Almost every snap was Dalvin Cook. What are you talking about?
You want to know what proves that Leonard Fournette is better than Dalvin Cook? The fact that ever since Dalvin Cook said I'm sitting out so I can get my money, the second he said that, and it was made public to the media, the first thing people started saying was, the second thing. I'll say the first thing was, oh, crap, he's going to sit out. The second thing was, oh, that's okay. We have Alexander Madison. He'll step in and he'll be the same as Dalvin Cook.
I can't even tell you how hard I just rolled my eyes. Dalvin Cook, look at the way he runs. He is a powerful runner.
Yeah.
He is a skilled runner. He can evade tackles. He is an incredible running back.
He can't evade the injury time.
Leonard Fournette is not that. Yeah, of course he got injured. He was playing every snap of the game. So, yeah, he got a little banged up towards the end of the season. But that's incredible resilience from a running back.
To what?
That's incredible.
To average playing like 12 games a season. That's pretty incredible. I agree.
Oh,
that's
my God.
Horrible. That's horrible.
The fact that Leonard Fournette.
When your running back is questionable from week to week, that is disgusting.
You can't watch Dalvin Cook play and then compare him to Leonard Fournette's running play and say that Leonard Fournette looks better. He doesn't look better.
Different play styles.
Dalvin Cook is the more convincing looking running back.
Dalvin Cook is I'll make a good comparison here. I think you'll appreciate this comparison. Not skill-wise, but flashiness-wise. Dalvin Cook and Barry Sanders are very flashy running backs. Do you agree?
Well, Barry Sanders was incredibly skilled, so yeah, that made his plays a little flashy.
Flashy, yes. They caught the viewer's eyes, and they're like, oh my God, look at this running play. Oh my God, look at that spin move, that juke. Oh my God, he just broke that defender's ankles, and he's running for an 80-yard touchdown. Then you look at Leonard Fournette. It's a much different style of play. It's power back, power through the defenders, get the first down, get the team a new set of downs. It's just different styles of play that help the team.
Yeah, how many games has Leonard Fournette single-handedly won for his team?
You can't compare that.
No, seriously. How many games has he won for his team single-handedly?
Single-handedly? No idea.
Yeah. Dalvin Cook does that with the help of his offensive line, obviously, but that's something that every running back has.
Don't you think it'd be cool to enter the playoffs as the Minnesota Vikings and say, hey, my running back number 1 is healthy. He's ready to go. He'll play the entire playoffs. Hey, if we make it to the Super Bowl, he'll play the whole game. No.
Yeah.
That's never happened. Dalvin Cook, my biggest problem with him is how often he goes down with an injury. It's too his I don't want to say willingness, but availability, I guess, from game to game, not from play to play, is questionable.
You do realize that part of that is he probably gets a little banged up, and the team says, okay, well, just take it easy. We're going to list you as questionable. We're going to list you as restricted in practice. All these things. They say that, and they still use them in the games because they do that to try to throw the other team off. Did you ever think that that's maybe something that they're doing? They're taking a little injury and, kind of amplifying it up. I think that's what they're doing.
You know how many teams have probably thought of that and think about it? It's so stupid.
Well, yeah, but they don't know for sure.
That is not going to change. That is, in a very few cases, is that going to change a team's defensive schemes.
Really?
I think the only team...
You're gonna line up the same way that you did for Dalvin Cook with, what's his name, Madison in the backfield?
Yeah, the Bears did it! The Bears did it! The Bears literally did it.
The Bears were dysfunctional.
No, they weren't. Their defense
you guys were throwing things to see what stuck. That's what you were doing.
No, we're talking about the Bears defense, not the Bears offense. The Bears defense.
The Bears defense was just as bad last year. They underperformed. No, it wasn't. They underperformed just as much.
Yeah, they underperformed from the stellar year they had the year before. Of course they would. No defense can have 2 years in a row like that. Those are unspeakable numbers.
You still signed a ton of offense. You still signed a ton of defensive pieces, like it was something you needed this year.
All right, well, dude, I'm not. We're talking about the Vikings, not the Chicago Bears here. But
your Bears defense was a fluke. Dude,
we'll talk about this in the Bears episode when we get to their offseason reviews and stuff. But
all right, you're just afraid to talk about it right now.
No, I'm not. I want to talk about Dalvin Cook.
All right. Well, here's what I'll make you a bet. Dalvin Cook will have more touchdowns and more yards than Leonard Fournette if he plays after getting a contract extension.
Yeah, of course. I don't doubt that.
Then what's the point? That would clearly imply that he's better.
What do you mean, what's the point? What's the
If
point?
he has more yards and more touchdowns, he's clearly the better running back.
I don't believe that. I think if
What?
if Leonard Fournette gets traded, I think, depending on where he goes, Leonard Fournette could be a whole different running back, personally.
He might be even worse.
Dude, could you imagine? Okay, if
You want
he
to know what Leonard Fournette was last year in fantasy? He was a bust for most players. You want to know what Dalvin Cook was?
Of course.
He was a sleeper giant.
Sleeper? No, not at all.
I mean, no one expected him to be as good as he was.
The biggest fear for people that drafted Dalvin Cook was, oh my God, what if he gets injured? Then I just drafted this guy for absolutely no reason, which is my biggest concern with him. I don't want the Vikings to pay somebody like Dalvin Cook that much money and him not play the whole season. And that's why I brought up Alexander Madison. I think
you would love that. That's what you know what? That's how I know you're lying. You're lying. You said you would hate to see the Vikings do that. You're a Bears fan. You would love to see them make mistakes with their roster. Don't you lie.
Dude, I'm not trying to be biased here. If I want to be biased, I would tell you that the Chicago Bears are going to be the number 1 seed locked in the NFC North this year.
See, that's how you know that your team is trash, because you know that Mitchell Trubisky is no good.
We're not talking about you bring up Trubisky. We're not talking about Trubisky until we get to
Yeah,
Trubisky.
but it's just fun to make fun of Trubisky because you keep defending him.
Yeah, Calvin Johnson won you a lot of Super Bowls. Anyways, I think that's all I got to say
that's not
about
his
Dalvin
fault.
Cook.
You
Shut up.
You watch your mouth. Don't even put Calvin Johnson in the same sentence as Mitchell Trubisky. You understand?
Barry Sanders had a lot of Super Bowls with the Lions too. Yeah.
You watch it.
Yeah.
You watch it. Our greats get mistreated by our team, but that doesn't mean that they aren't greats.
Anyway,
Mitchell Trubisky's never. You think people are going to be in 20 years going to be saying, "Man, Mitchell Trubisky, remember what a great player he was"? Nah. He'll either be forgotten or hated.
We'll see. Anyways, that's all I got to say about Dalvin Cook.
Yeah, that's all I have to say about Dalvin Cook as well.
I think if he avoids
we'll
injury,
call it here.
he's worth the money. If he doesn't avoid injury, not worth the money.
Yeah. That's kind of how it works for all running backs, though, isn't it? They're worth the money until they get hurt.
Yeah, I guess.
Slow down.
Yeah, I guess.
All right, well, that's it for this episode, guys. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe for more Unrestricted Sports content, and we will see you guys next time. Peace.